Thank you, Mr. President. I've always supported common sense and reasonable firearm safety measures. Unfortunately, there's nothing that brings common sense or reasonableness to this legislation. We've already heard, and I associate myself with comments that my good friend Senator Bramnick just made, that our own Office of Legislative Services has questioned the constitutionality of some of the provisions of this bill. Those provisions that prohibit carrying on private property have already been challenged in New York and are up on appeal. The provisions dealing with sensitive places that are defined so broadly that you can't carry anywhere in the state have also been challenged, and the federal courts in New York are dealing with those. There's also another serious concern I have dealing with the insurance aspect of this legislation. This bill requires concealed carry permit holders to carry special liability insurance. I recently reached out to the Commissioner of Banking and Insurance to ask if those policies are currently offered in New Jersey. She recently responded by saying she wasn't aware of any such policies being offered by insurance companies in this state. I've also checked around and found that to be true as well. There may be an opportunity to get a rider on your homeowner's policy, but that's questionable. The Commissioner suggested that the person reach out to the NRA to potentially get a policy. I checked with the NRA and they no longer offer such policies. So today we could vote on a piece of legislation that establishes a requirement that no one in the state can meet. Now, I agree with Senator Bramnick. I think there ought to be training. I think there ought to be background checks. And there's other reasonable things and common sense approaches that we can take to make sure that concealed carry in New Jersey is safe and reasonable for all our residents. But this bill does not get close to meeting any of those standards. Given these concerns, I cannot in good conscience vote for this legislation today. Thank you, Mr. President.